My 32F fiancé, 33M, of 8 years refuses to have a wedding. I am not Oop. Oop is you, sarcastic surfer 32. Originally posted to our relationship advice. My 32F fiancé, 33M, of 8 years refuses to have a wedding. Trigger warnings, emotional manipulation, neglect, and mentions of mental health issues. Less than. Original post January 5, 2024. My 32F fiancé, 33M, does not want a wedding of any kind. No elopement, no ceremony, no rings exchange, no vows, nothing. I've always wanted a traditional medium-sized wedding, but I've compromised to doing an elopement with just my parents present. He refused. So I compromised again and said let's just do the paperwork like he wants, then go to dinner with the 4 of us and celebrate. He refused. Then I said okay, let's just do the paperwork and dinner with the 2 of us and then get some pictures of the 2 of us and maybe do a party or something with family a few months from now. He refused. I just want to make it special. It's important to me and I've expressed that to him and he will not compromise on anything. We've been together for 8 years, so it's not as if we don't know each other well. I am really starting to rethink getting married and even staying in this relationship. But he says I'm being bratty. Am I putting too much importance on this? Anyone else just do paperwork and call it a day and not regret it? Edit to add. He just wants to do paperwork and make it legal. He doesn't want a ceremony or fanfare of any kind. He doesn't have family he wants to invite, and I'm very close to my family and want to have them at something. He also wants to focus on saving money and not spending it on a wedding. Also, thank you for all of the time everyone has taken to leave thoughtful replies to this post. It's really helping me reflect on the situation and I appreciate the responses. Relevant comments. Trillium Summer. How much did you push for him to get engaged? 'Cause my spidey sense is that he wasn't so willingly going down on one knee. My bet? He doesn't want to get married. He caved to the engagement and now bashing the wedding is his latest way to delay and push it off. Oop. I really didn't push. We've been living together for 7 years and he just showed up in the kitchen one afternoon with an engagement ring. I was like, okay, I do also think you're right that he doesn't really want to get married on some level. The thing I'm confused about is I was very slow to schedule anything because I'd rather delay it than give in to something I don't want to do. But he asked me daily to schedule an appointment to do the paperwork. Why not just leave it alone and wait for me to initiate everything? I wouldn't have even scheduled the paperwork if he didn't keep pushing me because I wanted to plan an elopement. N20C10H12C8H10N402, op. After reading your post, I have a feeling he doesn't even want to make it legal. You offered him many options. What's the problem with signing the papers and having dinner with your parents? Is that an inconvenience to him? Oop. He doesn't want to spend the money and thinks I'm too dependent on my parents. I see them for holidays and talk to them on the phone weekly. He isn't close to his family, so he thinks I shouldn't be. It's Ash 14. He doesn't wanna get married. My guess is you were talking about getting engaged. To shut you up, he proposed. I wanna know the details of how you got engaged. Did he half-ass it? Put effort in? ECT. Oop. It was 100% half-assed. But for some context, he does have mental health issues and doing big things tend to be overwhelming. Which I get, and that's why I don't generally expect a lot. We don't go on dates. We don't do much at all, to be honest. But that's the place he's at right now. He got a ring from a family member and gave it to me in the kitchen and said, "Wanna get married?" I also didn't push him to get married. But I am wondering now if he asked because he felt like he should. Hoshi Jones. Is he considerate of you in other ways? Or is he generally as dismissive of your feelings as he is about this? If it's just a quirk, and he's a wonderful and caring man otherwise, then just let it go, I guess. But it seems doubtful that a man who exhibits such a complete lack of regard for your wants and feelings in this will be a good partner. Only you can know that. And I've seen you carefully not answer any questions about that. Oop. It's kind of complicated. He has some mental health issues he's been dealing with since before I met him. He doesn't want a ceremony because he has no family he wants to invite and he doesn't want to spend the money, which I understand. But I think he's going too far in the opposite direction. If he can't have his way, no one can. And again, I am wondering if I should see this as a red flag. I do overlook times when he doesn't show up for me. And these questions are making me reflect on those, and I'm seeing a trend. They are things that I thought were upsetting at the time but decided to move on from because they're little. Like not taking me to the hospital when I was sick, not giving me a ride when my car broke down, not going to my graduation, things like that. I take him to everything and even drove him an hour away to a doctor's appointment after I worked. But I show love through acts of service and support. And he thinks financial support and spending time with him is love. I'm wondering if we are just incompatible and this is the first real big life decision we've tried to make together. Quite successful. Is he the same for every celebration? He never has a birthday party or goes to dinner to celebrate his birthday. Oop. No. Which is another reason why I'm wondering if I'm making this too much of a big deal. He doesn't celebrate anything. I always get him a cake, make his favorite dinner, and wrap a gift for his birthday. But he really doesn't ever ask to do anything or mark it in any way. Mine either. He usually just asks me what I want to do for the day. And I buy myself a gift. He's not a big thrills kind of guy. Which I've never minded. Except this one thing. Maybe I'm asking for something he really isn't capable of doing. And NBSP. Update January 8, 2024. After reading through the comments and reflecting, I had another conversation with him. He agreed to have dinner with the two of us and take a couple photos, but only if he could buy himself a new computer. That was much more insulting to me than anything before. Especially because he claimed his reason for not agreeing to anything is mostly because of money. I think most of the comments were correct in that he never really wanted to get married. I called everything off, canceled our appointment to do paperwork, and returned the ring we bought. I'll have to deal with telling my coworkers, but I guess I'll Google how to tell people without going into too much detail. I am leaving him. I have ignored a lot of stuff with him because we are financially stable together, comfortable, and he was my first and only relationship. So I think I just wanted to make it work and didn't really know what was normal and what I've learned to tolerate. Relevant comments. Nut Brown Ale. Who allows ring returns? Also, you said in the first post he didn't want rings to save money. Something is off. Oop. We bought our wedding rings through financing and he gave me a family engagement ring. I gave them both back to him. Revolutionary T 8722. I'm sorry, Op, but you did the right thing for you. How did he take the news? Oop. Initially he was really angry and talking about how I get everything because I got 2 rings. The date I wanted, photos and dinner, and he doesn't get anything out of getting married. That it's all for me. Then he calmed down and said he wants to get married because I'm his best friend and he loves me. I'm probably going to go to a friend's house or my parents today because the last time we broke up, I ended up going back. He told me to pack and that he would get rid of my stuff if I didn't. An NBSP. This is a repost sub. I am not Oop. A flatmate I barely knew drove me to hospital once and stayed with me while they checked my stomach pain wasn't my appendix. I remember thinking it was very nice of her, but also You know, I would have done it for her. It's kind of bare minimum of how to be human. I cannot contemplate marrying someone who wouldn't drive me to hospital when I was ill. Like not taking me to the hospital. Not going to her graduation, little things. I would flip if my partner didn't even want to celebrate my damn graduation if there wasn't something huge, stressful, important thing at the job. Damn woman, you deserve someone who celebrates you and put energy into things without blaming mental issues. Ooh. I'm so happy for Oop. She tried to make her dreams small to please him, then realized he was never going to give her what she really wants. This dude really wanted a PC as a dowry because he wasn't getting anything out of the marriage. Face vomiting. It's always, he is such a wonderful man. 2. He is an I just ignored all the red flags in the span of an update. Hopefully Oop will not return to him this time. He doesn't get anything out of getting married, I mean. That says it all, doesn't it? He doesn't regard the ongoing commitment between them to be something of value. Yeah, the more Oop wrote, the more I just wanted to yell, leave him. I'm glad she's getting out. And I hope she can figure out what makes her happy and take care of herself. Whether that's with a partner or alone. Stuff that confuses me about other men. There are plenty of things that I don't understand the importance of or find value in that my wife wants or does, but I can at least play along or put in effort because I value her and it makes her happy. Especially because I know she does the same for me. I call my dad for 10 minutes or so every single day and have for the last 20 years. I can't imagine policing my lover's family phone calls. He doesn't get anything out of getting married. And there it is. In regards to what to tell coworkers, it didn't work out. Should suffice. I mean, why would you want to marry someone who didn't even want to make an effort to meet you halfway? I hope she follows through on leaving him, and I have no sympathy for his mental health if after 8 years, not much has changed nor has any progress been made. Personally, I would be done the second a man called me bratty for having an opinion on something. It just reeks of condescension, paternalism, and a total lack of respect for your partner as an adult. Oop, initially he was really angry and talking about how I get everything because I got 2 rings, the date I wanted, photos and dinner, and he doesn't get anything out of getting married. That it's all for me. And they're boys and girls. We finally arrived at the heart of how he really feels about marriage. And marriage to her. Oh, yeah, this guy has issues. Kinda got the feeling that because he has no close relationship to his family, he didn't want her family around. And I'm pretty sure he would have tried to isolate her from her family and friends once they got married. He said she was too dependent on her family. But really he wanted her to be dependent on him. They are things that I thought were upsetting at the time but decided to move on from because they're little. Like not taking me to the hospital when I was sick. Not giving me a ride when my car broke down. Not going to my graduation. Where are the little things, Oop? I'm seeing some huge ones. Are the little things in the room with us? If you are not to take the effort to give your spouse, lover something they want, especially if it is something special like a specific type of wedding or something they always dreamed of, maybe it's best that you don't get in a relationship in general. All in all, I am happy to see OP being able to move on, and I wish her for the best for the future. This Xfiance sounds like he has a lot of issues for sure. Poor Oop. Reminds me of the boiling frog analogy. I'm glad she got out. Happy to see Reddit come to the rescue in taking her out of the boiling pot. They are things that I thought were upsetting at the time but decided to move on from because the were little. Like not taking me to the hospital when I was sick. The way my jaw just dropped here. Like, that's not a little thing. Neither are the other two. But that one's just so. If I was sick, or thought I was sick enough to go to the hospital and my partner flat out refused to take me there, I'd be pissed and questioning the entire relationship. Even if I was fine and just having a bad panic attack. That just shows me that my concerns won't be taken seriously by this person. Poor Oop asked for so little and it was still too much for her fiancé. Like just going for dinner to celebrate their wedding was too much for him. Why did he even bother proposing if he was going to be this way about the actual getting married? I hope Oop sticks to staying broken up because something tells me this guy will be begging to get back together sooner rather than later.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.